Hey, book lovers. We are Ellen and Sarah, and this is Besties and Books, where we drink wine, share laughs, talk fantasy, and plenty of other genres, all the stories that steal our hearts.
Today we are doing our monthly reading wrap-up. We have blitzed our TBR this month, read double the amount of books that we picked from our TBR jars and said that we will read.
Not me.
But they're books that Sarah has read in the past as well. I've finally caught up to some of her reads. We have a whole mixture of genres from fantasy, romantasy, thriller, contemporary romance, mystery. So we've got a real mix today. So with that being said, let's kick off with our first book.
Book one, we have Saving Six by Chloe Walsh. Now, we have done a full vlog with spoilers if you're interested. If you've been following, we've been doing all of the books in the Boys of Tommen series. This is book 3. Our discussion today will be spoiler free, but if you are interested, check out the vlog. So Saving Six, again, like books 1 and 2, it is set in Ireland in the early 2000s, and the book spans a period of about 6 years. It's told from a dual perspective, our two main characters, Joey and Aoife. Joey is 12 at the beginning of the book. He just has such a hard lot in life, this kid. He becomes the protector and father figure to his younger siblings after his older brother skips out of home, leaves town, leaves them all behind. Joey and all of his siblings face abuse and trauma at the hands of their father, and Joey has the burden of responsibility, and we just see him struggle with that the whole book. He forms a beautiful friendship with Aoife from the time that they're both 12. She is bubbly, she is self-assured. He meets her while working for her father. Their friendship deepens throughout the book, and as it does, Joey is just constantly trying to keep her out of his life. He doesn't really want her to mix with his horrific personal family life, and she tries to weasel in the whole book. I was not as immediately hooked on this book as I was books 1 and 2. I don't know if it's because I had such high hopes for it, or if some of the themes and the storyline we're aware of because of books 1 and 2, with Joey and Shannon being siblings. So nothing was really new. It didn't have that exciting new story element. It was obviously, Joey's perspective was very different, so there was that whole new element, and Aoife as a character, we obviously didn't know her very well. But it just didn't draw me in as much. I was still hooked. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, this author, she is a master of emotional writing. I don't know how she elicits such like highs and lows, and brings in so well themes of addiction and abuse and resilience. Like, I was still hooked the whole story. I just didn't like it.
It's
quite
because
as
it went
much.
back in time. Like, it didn't. We were sort of hoping, I think by the end of Keeping 13, something happens that affects the entire family. And we were sort of hoping, I guess, for the timeline that happens after that. And perhaps if it did go back in time with Joey, which we were aware of going into it, that it would sort of catch up to that timeline where Keeping 13 finished. But it didn't. If anything, we're still smack bang in the middle of... Actually, I think
it finishes
mid-Binding 13.
Or even the beginning, because I think at the end, Shannon has just enrolled in Tommen at the end of book 3.
Yeah.
So did you not enjoy it as much as the first two?
This is really hard for me to say, because I find them completely different but very similar at the same time. So Binding 13 and Keeping 13, to me, focused a lot on Shannon and Johnny's relationship, and then sort of the family dynamic was the main plot point happening in the background. And there was a lot of comic relief from Gibbsy and other side characters, so it was laugh out loud funny in times that it was really dark. This book is just dark.
Yeah.
Absolutely dark.
I get that they didn't want Joey to have some entertaining friends because they want to sort of emphasize how miserable his life is. But I thought Aoife, she had a best friend. She could have been funnier. She wasn't very funny. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I felt that too. I was like, I wanted to laugh out loud to break up the just full on emotional side of things. The other thing that drove me crazy was Aoife and Paul. Like, for three-quarters of the book, Aoife has this boyfriend who, like, we all know they're not going to end up together. They're not that into each other. He likes the trophy wife, and she doesn't really want to get into something that's going to hurt her. So, you know they're not going to last. And I don't know how many times they seem to be on and off, on and off, on and off. I just thought, I'm over this.
Yeah, I didn't mind it in the beginning because I understood the message the author was trying to convey about how your parents' relationships really influence their children's future relationships. So and this isn't really a spoiler, but her parents have a beautiful relationship in some ways, but it's very rocky in others. And so Aoife goes into this whole protective mechanism mode when entering her own relationships, where she's sort of not willing to give herself fully and fall in love with someone because she's so scared of being betrayed. So I understand why that needed to happen, but it did drag. Yeah. And it didn't need to happen for as long as it did. In saying that though, I was still gripped. I flew through the book, through it. Could not put it down, and
I agree. I still loved it.
Emotionally wrecked me. Yeah,
yeah. But don't you think
I was emotionally wrecked?
Not much. I felt like not much really happened plot wise, but I still loved it. Like I actually gave it a really. This sounds like I'm going to give it a bad rating. I gave it a really good rating because I really enjoyed it, and I think that just speaks to her writing. How she could write about, I don't know, like a shopping trip or some boring school day, and it's still like you're still so engrossed, even though I thought like it's obviously very I feel like it wasn't very plot driven, it was character driven, but she does that so well.
Yeah, because I am emotionally, like, I felt like by the end of it my heart was just ripped out for Joey. Like I know I went into depressive mode for like 24 hours. I was just, it was full on, absolutely.
I do think the next one is going to be better. Like I have high hopes that it will. Yeah. And I think maybe because I think because it's going to go past events of books 1 and 2. That's my hope anyway. Yeah. That we'll see a real sort of redemption arc. Hence the name Redeeming Six. There's got to be, right?
Oh, of course. I didn't read that much into it. Okay. All right. With that being said, should we give our rating?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
4.
5 stars.
Oh, you still give it 5.
Oh,
I did give it 4.
So I said in my review, I said in my vlog, it is a very shaky 5. I think I said in the vlog, in the full spoiler vlog, it's a shaky 5 depending on where the next book goes. If the next book doesn't sort of wrap it all up and make it beyond that timeline, then it would be a 4. But if it does it really well and this book serves a purpose, then it's a 5.
Yeah.
I know it sounds so, anyway. All right, moving on. The next one we have on our list is Direbound by Sable Sorenson.
I'm keen to hear what you thought of this one.
I'm so keen to hear what you thought of this one as well. Okay, so I have an opening quote, which hang on, let me explain the storyline first. Okay, just a brief plot storyline. In Direbound, we are following Marin. She's the main character. She lives in a world of poverty with her family, and everything changes when her sister is kidnapped, or napped, I think they call it, in the middle of the night. And she basically seeks out to become a part of the front line to then go and find her sister and save them from these vampires that are draining everyone of their power. So that's where the story begins. And in this book, we have enemies to lovers romance. We've got bonding to direwolves, this element of a female main character coming from nothing and becoming, very powerful. So in terms of what I thought, to sum it up, don't hate me, girlies, but honestly, this was Fourth Wing but Temu quality. I'm sorry. It literally was. I could not. The similarities between the two were uncanny for the first 40% of the book. I was like, my sister loved this book. She gave it 5 stars. Good for you. If you love this book, gave it 5 stars. Seriously, good for you. And I will preface this with saying this is an indie author. It's her first novel, and I think it's fantastic for a debut. But back to what I was thinking, it was literally cookie cut Fourth Wing, but with dire wolves. I just could not believe it. Like, even down to her friendship with Lee in the beginning being very similar to Dane, the childhood friends, the bonding, and then channeling power through the wolves.
I think you had to go in with a mindset of, I know there will be many similar elements, and I'm just going to like let it go and enjoy the story.
Yes. In saying that, it was quite bingeable. I found it easy to read. My only other critique was there were a lot of plot holes. This redeeming arc for me was I did really like Anassa, the main female direwolf, and how she didn't pander to Meryn and all her woe is me, woe is life sort of thing. I really liked Anassa.
I did feel like, it's funny because my first comment that I'd written down was like, I had high hopes for this book. It was like Fourth Wing, but fell short. But in saying that, I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. One thing I've realized that I love in a fantasy is some good, funny, or loyal side characters. And I know she made a few friends, but I just feel like the friendships she made weren't really, maybe they're a bit lacking in authenticity, or like I just didn't go for the side characters. I thought, I think that could use some work. But it was super easy to read. I read it really quickly. I was engaged the whole time. And I just had to sort of like forget about Fourth Wing and just enjoy it without comparing everything.
Yes, I also felt like it did deviate from that Fourth Wing plot. I think it was from about the 60% mark or 50% mark. Like it just went off and it focused on something totally different, which I really appreciated, and I felt like I could enjoy it more from that point. Anyway, it was a good book. Like, I would recommend it. It's a good book, but just go into it knowing.
Yeah.
It's very similar to Fourth Wing, and don't listen to other people to say that it's different, because it's not. Like, it's really not.
Does anyone say, because anyway. You described it to me as it's Fourth Wing but with wolves. So I was like, I think I went in expecting it would be very similar. So it actually didn't bother me when I was like, oh yeah, that's similar. Oh yeah, okay. I was like, oh, that's what I was told.
Yeah, okay. I think what I meant to you was in the sense of the bonding with the wolves. That's all I thought was similar, because all the reviews that I read are like, it's similar to Fourth Wing in terms of the bonding, but otherwise it's totally different. And I was like,
okay.
It's very similar. But anyway, all right, let's give a rating. You ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
4.
3.5.
Oh, I thought I might get higher.
You enjoyed it that much?
Yeah,
interesting.
I think I just read it so quickly and just was like, oh, yep, very entertaining. All right, next book. We have The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So this book, I was pretty confident that I was really gonna enjoy it. So a classified FBI program recruits teenagers with exceptional talents. So our main female character, Cassie Hobbs, she has the ability to read people. She agrees to sign up to this FBI program. She gets taken to a special facility where there's some other kids there, and they all investigate cold cases. So I was like, this is going to be a great book. I just honestly, I just couldn't stand it. Oh my gosh. I did not like any of the characters. There was just funny teen melodrama that I wasn't interested in at all. The storyline, I mean, there was sort of like an interesting turn halfway through where a real life serial killer comes into the story. So there are a few chapters there where I thought, oh, there's some interest here, but I just wasn't interested. Like, my mildly interested couple of chapters, just the excitement very quickly faded for me, just off of me.
Yeah. I didn't actually think it was too bad, but I thought it was targeted at a very young audience. I did find it super bingeable, but the ending fell flat and I didn't really care, nor do I care to continue with the series. It felt like it was targeted, like I said, to a very young audience, and I'm just not that audience. But I do see the appeal of it, and certainly if it's like your first thriller or your first mystery or crime novel that you're reading, it's a great one to start with. I would recommend it to a young teen.
What was that other one that
But
we
otherwise,
read
just not for me.
that was like a sort of a
A Good
teen?
Girl's Guide to Murder.
Yeah, see, that I thought was fantastic. And that was
Yeah, that was
also
good.
sort of aimed at a younger audience, but I don't know, I just found everyone so annoying. And for a book that was only 7 hours on Audible, it just was like, it felt so slow and long. I was like, oh my God, get me to the end of this now.
That is hilarious. I can sense your rating already.
I mean, I finished it. I did finish it.
Yeah, okay, all right. Maybe we're expecting a 2 from Sarah
Let's
then.
rate it.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
2.5.
3 stars. Oh, okay, we got above the 2.
Did.
Okay,
yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there were moments where it was vaguely interesting. Next.
All right, what have we got next? Next up, we have Jade City by Fonda Lee. Now, this book doesn't follow a specific character. It follows sort of multitude of characters, but you've got the plot premise is that you have 2 gangs fighting over territory and possession of a, I guess, jewel with magical powers called Jade. Everyone wants a piece of the pie of Jade. It's literally fuel to their power. So you have the No Peak clan, which is, you sort of see the perspectives from everyone in the No Peak clan, and then you have the Mountain clan, which is sort of their enemy rival clan, but we don't get any of the POVs from their perspective. It's all from the No Peak clan perspective. So in terms of what I thought, I had really high expectations for this book. It's being compared to Brandon Sanderson. It's very epic fantasy, so go into it knowing that. I wouldn't read it unless I was an experienced fantasy reader. It also has a heavy cultural focus, similar to sort of Kaigan, where sometimes, you know, if your first language is English, it's really difficult to get across the names of the characters in particular, because a lot of the characters are named the same in this book, but their last names are different. Their last names are sort of treated as their first names, but said the other way around. So it's a little bit confusing. It takes a while to wrap your head around who you're actually following in the book. And for that reason, I found it super hard to get into because I didn't know who was who. It was really a slog for me to figure that out. And I actually ended up having to look up a cheat sheet as well for how the clan hierarchies worked, because I was getting really confused about who basically the boss of the clan was, who was under that, who was the fist, who were the fingers, who were the, you know, it wasn't super obvious to me about the hierarchy, and I did have to Google a cheat sheet. There were plot twists in it which took me by surprise and that I loved, but it's a very character-driven book. Not a lot happens plot-wise.
Yeah, same.
What did you think?
I agree. I loved the premise. I loved, like Ellen said, Jade has this magical ability to enhance your powers. So for some, it can enhance their strength or their speed or their perception, but you've got to be highly trained to use it. You've also got to be of a very select bloodline. So for some people, they're too sensitive to jade. They can't even touch it. Others are immune, so it has no effect on them. So I loved sort of the magic system. I thought the sort of the mafia-like families dynamic was really interesting. I just was like quite bored actually reading it.
Yeah, me
like
too.
I would have loved to sort of, you know, if they focus more. So there is a training school where you can go and you learn about jade, and that was like not really a focus of the book at all. But I think maybe, you know, those epic fantasy books where it's like the poor farm boy that like comes on this epic journey and then ends up being the king of the whole world or something. Like there was just no sort of like epic progression. It was just, I don't know, like some family dramas and like fighting over jade, and even like all the, you know, the sort of fight scenes and sequences. There was nothing, just, you know, like the street fights fell flat. The political maneuvering didn't have much impact for me. Yeah, I struggled.
Oh, I just couldn't give a shit. Like with all the council meetings and stuff, I'm like, I don't care. Yeah, like agreed. It was just... Anyway, but I would if you enjoy political intrigue, I would actually recommend this book because it is very politically driven. And I know a lot of people love that storyline in a fantasy book, so it's not to discount that. It just wasn't for me.
Agreed. Should we rate it?
1, 2, 3.
2.5.
2.5.
Oh, same.
Accurate.
Yeah, okay. Okay, our next book up is Quicksilver by Callie Hart. Now, we've actually both read this previously. So this is a reread because book number 2 is coming out November. Is it November?
Yeah, November. Brimstone is coming.
November,
Yay.
and we are super excited. So we thought we better do a reread of book 1. So in book 1, we meet Ceres Thane. She is a thief who happens to have alchemist powers. She is forced through a portal into a fey realm called Yavelia. While there, she becomes central to a conflict between fae and vampires. Previously, she didn't even know fae and vampires existed. So she's forced to use her alchemist, or she's forced to learn to use her alchemist skills to influence the war and the fate of the world. She meets Kingfisher there. Honestly, the worst name ever. We hate it.
Terrible.
And, there's a bit of a dynamic, there's sort of a bit of the enemies to lovers dynamic there. We're not going to give too much away, but both Ellen and I loved this book. I definitely would rate it 5 stars. I think you'd be the same.
Yeah. Same. Yeah.
It has got some fantastic side characters, which obviously I love. The plot was interesting. Like, I was even as a second read, I was like excited to read it a second time. I got through it super quick. It was such an enjoyable read.
So I haven't quite finished my reread yet, but I'd say I'm about 30% through, and I am literally soaking up every second. I just feel like I'm reading it this time at my own pace, slowly. I'm loving every second. I'm not confused about the world building at all this time. Because in the beginning, I do remember when I very first read it, until she makes her way into the Fae realm, I was a bit confused about what was happening in the third, which is the district that she's a part of in the human realm, I guess, at the beginning. But this time, I just love it. It's such a good read. If you haven't read Quicksilver, you need to do it and then get onto Brimstone. I've been hounding my sister to read it. I'm like, how have you not read this yet?
Oh.
No. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so good. But yes, side characters are amazing. It's what makes this book, I think, so good as well, is how good the side characters are.
We are excited for the book too.
So next up, we have A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. So this is book 3 in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, and it wraps up the trilogy quite nicely. So we can't really say too much about what happens because it is book 3 in the series, but it still follows Evangeline and Jax and their relationship, and the plot sort of moves. I would even say majority of book 3 is just wrapping everything up. A lot of the plot has already happened. We're focusing more on Evangeline and Jax, but there's still quite a bit of tension there. They haven't gotten together yet still by book 3, and so it follows them and their journey in figuring out what they mean to each other. So in terms of what I thought, I just couldn't get into this one. I did listen to it on audiobook, so perhaps I don't always pay attention as well to audiobooks as I do versus physically reading it, but I did struggle to follow the audiobook for this one. And I also found it quite cringe. I was sort of over the whole fairy tale-esque whimsical vibes of it. Like the novelty had worn off.
The whole tree thing towards the end.
I didn't really care.
Like the Tree of Souls.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I'm not quite sure what's going on here. What is this? I mean, I was a bit the same. I enjoyed it, and I'm glad I read it to wrap up the series. By the end of it, though, I was happy to finish it. I was happy to just be done with the story and move on to the next one. I agree. Like, every book that progressed, like, book 1 was just so unique, I thought, and there was like a real quirk and a charm to it. With every subsequent book, like, a little bit more of that got lost.
Yeah, agreed. And I think it would have been better as a duology, to be honest.
Yeah, agreed. What would you rate it?
I still gave it 3 stars, but I think that is a bit biased because I liked book 1 so much, and I don't want to rate it less than that because I think it is worthwhile reading this trilogy. I think it's a lot of fun. It's very bingeable, And book 3 isn't a reflection of what I felt about the whole trilogy. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think it's a solid 3-star. Like all round, I'd give the series 3-star.
Yeah, yeah, or even 3.5 from me. Yeah.
Next, we have Housemaid by Freida McFadden. So this follows, if I remember correctly, Millie. She is a desperate young lady with a criminal past. She very luckily scores a job as a live-in maid, and she's shocked at her good fortune, and it all seems too good to be true. Then very quickly she realizes the wife is like batshit crazy. She is erratic, like abusive, while her husband is very sympathetic and very kind towards Millie, and she really sort of builds up this rapport with the husband. Then, I don't know how far through, halfway through or somewhere through the story, it just does a like full flip and like is a shock, and you do not expect what's coming. And I don't want to give away any of the sort of spoilers, but I did not see it coming. I can't remember, but I did have a number of theories of what was going to happen. And in the end, I didn't guess what happened.
Okay.
Did you? Did you see it coming?
Interesting. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
From the very first page. So in saying that I predicted the plot twist, I think it's because I know a little bit, even though I've never read Freida McFadden before, I knew she did a plot twist. I had seen the movie trailer already. I was just getting weird vibes.
Okay.
And I was thinking Gone Girl as well. I don't know if you ever watched that movie.
I did, yeah.
But there's a massive plot twist in that, and I had that in mind. In saying that, super bingeable, easy. I did enjoy it, but I wasn't like, hooked. Oh my God, you know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think when I went into it, I didn't even know what genre it was. It was just a book club book that I picked up. So I literally knew nothing about it.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't even really sort of expecting, I mean, obviously page 1, there's a murder, but I was like, oh, is this a murder mystery? What am I reading?
1, 2, 3.
3.5.
3 stars. Yeah, I sort of fluctuate between a 3 and a 3.5. I think it's worthy of a 3.5, to be honest. All right, what do we got next?
Ooh, Zodiac Academy, our last one.
Oh, yes. Is this the last one? Okay, cool. Awesome. First book is called The Awakening, and it's by the Twisted Sisters. I can't remember what their names are.
Carolyn Peckham, maybe, and is that right? Valentina.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
No, I think you're right. But they call them the Twisted Sisters. Anyway, so we are following Darcy and Tori. So they are 2 young women who have no money. They live in sort of the human realm, and they basically thieve and sell their goods to the highest bidder in order to survive. And then one day someone comes knocking, sort of like the whole Harry Potter storyline where they say, you need to come to this school and you're secretly heirs and entitled to this fortune, and you need to learn the way of the Fae and our magic system. So they go to the Fae realm, and that's where the story really begins, and they join this school. This is considered, I think, a dark fantasy romance. It has a heavy bully element. I would say it's young adult though, at least book 1 is. Nothing... Just the bullying I just found so, and this is already getting into my review, I found it so tiresome, so immature and childish. I just was like, I'm so sick of it, and it just kept happening over and over and over again. And I'm like, I'm sorry, are we in primary school right now?
Yeah.
I nearly DNF'd it. I was just not having a good time.
You did stop for a long time, and then you took it up again. Remember, you started it and then stopped for months.
I did. And then, the love interests, which aren't love interests, I'm still confused about whether they're interested or not. There's sort of this attraction element to the bully. So it wasn't like Feathers So Vicious for me, which was a bit like, that was more, I would say that's like emotional manipulation and physical abuse on an adult level. This is just like schoolyard.
Well, in this one, don't they like, in one scene, they pee on the sisters, or one of the sisters? They like corner her in the dark and
so I was waiting for that, but that didn't happen.
Maybe that's book 2.
That might be book 2.
Yeah, it was stuff like that. I was just like, oh, I'm sick of this.
Yeah. It was like circulating a naked picture, cutting off a ponytail, teasing them and say, oh, you know nothing about power, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, no, duh, they've just come from the human realm. Like, what, you expect them
Yeah.
to just know everything? It was just really dumb, like really dumb teasing remarks.
That got to me too.
Anyway.
But I did love, like the Harry Potter thing, I did love the idea of a fae school set in this, you know, and they're going to move through the
Yes.
ranks and the power levels. And I loved the premise. And yeah, the bully
okay.
thing got to me. It does die down in, I can't remember if it's books 2 or 3, but at some point it does die down. And then there's other things
Yeah.
that annoy me about the series once that dies down. But
I feel like it's still going to be a worthwhile read, even to just get the first 4 books under my belt. But we'll see. We'll do one at a time because I just really did not enjoy this one. With that being said, should we give both of our rating on this one? All right, 1, 2, 3.
3 stars.
1.5 stars. Oh!
I mean, to be fair though, like if you keep reading, I'm probably going to rate every single book 3-star because I can't individually remember what happens in any book. And I finished the series. I enjoyed enough of the plot to keep me going. So it's probably just like a 3-star all round. I'm just not sure if I'd ever recommend it because it's so long and there were enough things about it that frustrated me. I don't know if I'd ever say to someone, you should read this book, but I am keen to hear what you think if you keep on with it.
All right, well, I think that's a wrap. How many books is that? 8 or 9?
That was 8
Wowee,
books.
what a month.
Yeah, I feel tired.
Oh, sorry, I have one more bonus read. I don't think Sarah will ever read it because it just wouldn't be her cup of tea, but...
Why not?
It was Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. So I cannot remember the character names, I'm sorry, but in this we're basically following a 19-year-old girl who's dating a boy and he treats her horribly. He's not very good to her at all and she ends up with his dad. So that's the premise of the story.
How old is his dad?
It doesn't say, but they reckon he's supposed to be a young dad. So I'm going to guess mid-30s. And she's 19.
Okay. But
so
how old
like
was her boyfriend? How old was the boyfriend?
Same age as her, like 18 or 19.
Yeah,
like
right,
they're both pretty young. But I just found it super triggering. Like there's a scene where he's caught, like the boyfriend, before she gets with the dad, he's caught cheating on her in the pool. It's pretty graphic. She sort of sees them both basically having sex in the pool. And I just found that super triggering. It was okay. It was bingeable. It was easy, but... it gave me the ick in so many ways.
Yeah, okay.
As well.
What's your rating?
Yeah. So overall, I'd still give it a 3 stars just because it was super bingeable and I did like the audiobook. I can see why people love it, but it's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah. We got plenty of other books to read. We don't need more 3 stars.
Totally.
Well, that is a wrap from us. Thanks for hanging out with us today. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you hit the subscribe button, give us a big thumbs up, and please give us your 5-star book recommendations. We always want more 5-star book recommendations. Until next time, bye.
Bye.